What's up, y'all? So, big news today. The NAACP has filed a lawsuit to stop the elimination of the state of Tennessee's sole black congressional district around Memphis. So, this is Representative Justin Pearson, who, after this very rousing speech, proceeded to burn a paper copy of the Confederate flag in the rotunda of the Tennessee State House in Nashville. So, as you know, last week the Supreme Court chose to vote, voted to gut the provisions of the Voting Rights Act that matter. So now they can turn the South into a full-fledged Bantustan. Basically, black people live here, but black people have no representation. Yes, taxation without representation because they're still gonna come for that dollar. But in terms of like actual bourgeois political control. Yeah, no, no more of that. So we are hurtling evermore towards a full fledged fascist dictatorship. Why? Because the left in this country is insipid and weak and impotent. So the right is kicking our ass right now, you know? If you are not serious, if you are still thinking that we can vote this shit away, you should go get seen. You should go get seen. Because like this stuff is going to continue happening. It's going to continue happening. It's going to continue happening until we have actually built the power. No, fuck building power. Conquered the power to stop this stuff from happening. Huey P. Newton defined power as the ability to define a phenomenon and make it act in the desired manner. Basically, and you've heard me say this before, basically, if you do not have the ability to stop bad people from doing bad things, you cannot, in any political sense, real political, Marxist, what have you, liberal, you do not have any power. You are basically offering suggestions. You are basically offering um, suggestions as to what people in power should be doing, and they really have no material reason to listen to you. If I have a weapon, why should I listen to somebody that does not have a weapon? Hmm? Like, yeah, maybe I'm a nice guy. Maybe I'm like, okay, I might not rob this dude today. But if I'm going around robbing people, I'm probably not all that nice of a guy in the first place. So if you're like, oh, please don't rob me, don't hurt me, I'm probably going to laugh at you and I'm going to take your shit anyway. And I'm probably going to kick you for being weak and unable to defend yourself. That is how fascists think. Their philosophy is right makes right. Might makes right. That is what they believe. That is what their practice is. That is what Trump believes because Trump is a fascist. So let's hear from Brother Pearson.
See, at the behest of the most powerful white supremacist in the United States of America, Donald J. Trump. Memphis is the most beautiful place on the planet. It's the place that raised me,
Debatable.
my brothers, my parents, my grandmothers, and where my
I'm actually joking. Memphis actually reminds me a lot of my own hometown, St. Louis. It's basically a little bitty St. Louis.
ancestors' bones rest. And what you are doing today is eviscerating the only black majority congressional district in our state because we are majority black. We are here because this Republican Party has to seek to steal elections and seats because the president and the party have refused to address the pain, the suffering, and the struggling of everyday Tennesseans. This is about attacking, targeting, and cracking District 9 into pieces for more political and racial.
It's about power. It's about power. Making a good stand, but ultimately, this is happening because black people in Tennessee do not have any power.
Dominance and white supremacy in the state of Tennessee. And we need to realize that the Calais decision that you all are basing your decisions off of, that gutted the Voting Rights Act, that Voting Rights Act was paid in blood. It was not just a parchment.
Okay. These people do not care about our blood. They will happily shed ever more of our blood. Is the National Guard not occupying Memphis? Okay? These people do not care about black blood. We have to make our blood expensive. These people will literally massacre every single one of us if it will bring them a few more decades of relief, okay? One thing about being black in the United States that you must needs know is that white people do not give a single solitary flying fuck about our welfare. Okay? The only time that these people have made moderate, lukewarm reforms is when we have scared the shit out of them.
A paper signed into law, it was paid in blood on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. Paid in blood by Medgar Evers, paid in blood by Fannie Lou Hamer. It's been paid in blood year over year, time after time, assassination after assassination, lynching after lynching, so that more people might be able to ascertain access to this constitutional democratic republic experiment that is currently being gutted and seeking to be gutted by this chamber, by this House, this Senate, and this state. What is happening here is immoral and wrong.
They do not care about morals. These moralistic arguments, they're not carrying any water. Kwame Ture said that you cannot reason with somebody that has no conscience. You can only make moral arguments with somebody that actually gives a shit about morals in the first place. I definitely admire this brother. I love Justin Pearson, but he's still barking up this Kingian Gandhian tree. I'm going to, if I ever meet him, I'm going to give him a bunch of books on New Africa. He looks like a reader. He's a reading brother. You got to sharpen your politics up, man. These white folks is going to eat you alive. You got to study Malcolm. You got to study Huey. You got to study and apply Kwame Ture, Robert F. Williams, and Mario Badele. Like, you have to learn that, especially being in the South, like, you cannot remain fucking tied to these people. We cannot remain tied to this fascist American project. It is evil. It is killing us. They built a fucking data center in Dude's district without any input from the masses of the community. There's a 40,000 acre fucking data center in the works in Utah. Of course, I don't think it'll ever get built because the Mormons and the tweakers and the Mormon tweakers are going to scrap every fucking piece of copper they can get out of it and probably burn it down to boot. But hey. And another thing, like, these people want you to keep rushing to put out fires. Okay, they want to make, like, PSL loves emergency protests. Like, whenever something happens, they're renowned for being able to put together an emergency protest within 24 hours. We're eventually going to get to the point where if they keep this up, there's going to be an emergency protest every fucking day. Okay, you are going to be in a constant state of emergency. And they want you to do that. They want you to be burnt out. They want you to constantly be rushing from fire to fire, hither and thither, and not have enough time to analyze, not have enough time to strategize. It's basically a political version of the Nazi blitzkrieg. Okay, they want to hit you so hard, they want to hit you so fast that you don't have any time to respond. They do not want you to get your shit together and respond. Okay, they want you to remain weak. They want you to remain fractured and squabbling amongst each other over stupid shit, because that's what enables them to push through shit, because they have actual power. And they have been working on this stuff. Okay, they have been planning this shit for damn near 60 years. Okay, they have basically carried out a protracted war against black people and every other oppressed person in the United States.
Was reading
and now they're in what we call the strategic offensive.
Bible early this morning, asking God why this is happening. Why again does it seem that white supremacy is seeming to gain? Why?
Because America is a white supremacist country, my dear brother.
Again, does it seem like the pillars of pain that we have felt and experienced for over 400 years in this country continue to rise again? And whispered in the words of this Bible and in the words of those ancestors that have gone before us is just these simple words: we're still here. We are still here. This nation, this state has legislated and legalized the worst things in humanity, including our enslavement, and we are still here. Right in this country where, as one black woman said, your ancestors enslaved us, denied us of our rights, called us 3/5 of a person, and yet we are still here. You put us on cotton plantations and tobacco plantations. You denied our human rights and our right to exist as children of God, and we are still here. You destroyed Tulsa. You killed and lynched black folks on Poplar Tree. Shelby County, Tennessee had the most lynchings of anywhere in this state where you you're taking this district, and we are still here. You've had 3 strikes laws, mass incarceration, denied us of who we are, and we are still here. And today you'll take the only majority black district from us. But I want you to know, and I want my nephew, sons, and the future to know, no matter what you do, no matter how much you try and break us and make us bend and make us quit, we will still be here.
Yeah. And that room was, of course, full of Republicans laughing at him because ultimately they know that he's fundamentally powerless. So Brianna Joy Gray, for whatever reason, saw fit to interview ContraPoints of all people. And like, I did not know how dumb this person was. I did not know how dumb ContraPoints was because, like, I am not in the habit of watching white women content creators. White people in general have nothing to teach me. But I did not know how, like, insanely, just like objectively stupid this person was. Somebody, like, people were paying her money for years. And this individual has nothing of importance to say. Listen.
At some point, Natalie, like at some point, I mean, is there anything that Democrats would do that you would say, if Donald Trump, if the 2016 version of Donald Trump were running against the 2024 Donald Trump on the Democratic ticket?
Look at that fucking vacant look in her eyes.
Would you say that we should vote for 2016 Donald Trump because his first term was better than his second term?
Okay, I mean, so I joke about like how I would vote for Satan to stop Donald Trump. There probably is a line. I have yet
again, like you can tell within like 5 seconds of listening to her that she's fucking stupid.
Not found it yet of like what like moral depth to which I would stoop to stop Donald Trump.
So what does that mean?
Yeah.
And what is it? So play that out for me. What are everyone always asking me to play out my plan? Play out the consequences of vote blue no matter who, because you and others, I don't mean to put it all on you, but ask me what the timeline is. I got to this place because I started asking more centrist oriented people what the timeline is for Medicare for all. How long are we supposed to deal with the fact that 68,000 people die every year from a lack of health insurance? What's the timeline on that? And I had people come to me who were Medicare for all activists in the state of California, who were Bernie's Medicare for all czar, and their plans were minimum 20-year time horizons, saying that, well,
20 years. How many people are going to die because these liberals, these centrists, want to drag this shit out for 20 years?
The argument that was made to me was Gavin Newsom was going to get Medicare for all in the state of California, that he was going to become president. And
Gavin Newsom is going to make you need Medicare for all. Have you seen a picture of this man? He looks like fucking Gordon Gekko's long lost bastard.
And that he was then going to bring Medicare for all to the entire country. Gavin Newsom doesn't even...
She does look and sound stoned. She probably
didn't support Medicare for all anymore, obviously. And
why would you come on somebody's fucking show high?
The state of California, with its overwhelmingly Democratic legislature, has intentionally scuttled their CalCare program now multiple times, including just recently. So at a certain point, I mean, let me maybe ask it this way, Natalie. How much do you think that donor influence and corporate interests are determining the policies of the Democratic Party?
Well, they certainly have some effect. I think I maybe don't think they have quite the level of effect that you do, because
what are you talking? People gave this woman money to talk and make videos for what? Like it'd be different if she actually had something new. Yeah, Comrade Diego was running a little bit late, but he will be on. But like, it would be different if ContraPoints actually educated people. If she actually had something new to bring to the conversation. But like, this is shit tier even for shit libs. Like, what exactly is the appeal here? Like, what exactly? You know what? I'm so glad I blocked her. I got into an argument with somebody, I think it was Bad Empanada, and like ContraPoints was like, oh yeah, get him, BRG. I'm like, you, Satan, get thee behind.
Yes, they have some effect, but they also, like, at the end of the day, do still need to get elected. right? So I don't think there's an infinite like capacity for corporate influence. Like there's a limit to how far you can push it where people will
She's not even a bread tuber. Like this is a D tuber. This is an L tuber.
stop
Well,
supporting you.
This is
I mean,
kind of my
I
point,
also
that
think
we
that,
saw
like,
that limit with Gaza and they didn't care, right?
like Democrats have tried over the years to, like, I mean, Obama came fairly like with the Affordable Care Act, they came fairly close to
I'm sorry. This is just white. This isn't even white mediocrity. This is white slop. This is white failure.
getting not Medicare for all, but a single payer option.
Well,
It was
Natalie,
fairly
no,
close.
but they
being
did-
shot
but
down
they
by
did
Joe
it.
Lieberman.
Okay, but like, why is it, Natalie? We know how slim the Republicans' margins are right now, right?
Yeah.
And yet they managed to do everything in the world. Why is it that Barack Obama had a supermajority? When we say it was scuttled by Joe Lieberman, we're saying that he was the 60th vote in a supermajority.
Yeah.
And why is it that it seems to be the case that Democrats are always 1 or 2 votes shy from doing the thing that, 75% of the country wants them to do?
Because they don't want to do it.
But Republicans always manage to push through the thing that only 20% of the country wants them to do.
Well, do you think that
my gosh. So Chris Smalls is in some shit, Pookie's thing. If DSA was as critical, like I'm not one of those people that is like, oh, you cannot criticize DSA if you're not in it. No, black people have the right to criticize everything because we suffer from everything in this fucking country. So yeah, Comrade says if DSA was this critical of Bernie, Zaran, or AOC, then they'd be hitting on shit, arguing with niggas all day and defending politicians who clearly used you is some MAGA shit. Yeah, like we have to get rid of this cult of personality around these politicians. I'm sorry, like it's fucking dumb, and it has been hilarious, like seeing all these fucking white people interacting with this working class black dude. Like this guy is out of the fucking trenches of Hackensack, New Jersey. Okay, like he did not go to fucking how to start a union school. He didn't go to any of that shit. This dude is fucking raw and real and uncut. And a lot of like, if you cannot handle Christian Smalls, then you really cannot handle the black working class. Like you always talking about, oh, we need the black workers. We need the black working class. We need the black working class. And like, then when you see the black working class, when you see a fucking dude that will not let you fucking carry him any type of way, then you get upset. Your feelings get hurt. So yeah, starts with Jessica Burbank, basically thanking, mind you, like Chris Smalls was out there. He was out there protesting the very same Met Gala that AOC attended a few years ago with some tacky dress that said tax the rich on it. So you have this. Okay, first of all, there's a dynamic. There's a reason why all of the white people were kicked out of SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Organizing Committee, back in the day, because like it's a mind fuck for a lot of working class black people. A lot of white people know that, and they use it to try to manipulate people and try to fuck up black people's work. And like Stokely Carmichael, that was his slave name. His real name was Kwame Ture, the name that he took for himself after going to Africa. He said that like you cannot go into the black community as a white person and hope to organize us. We can organize ourselves. So every organization that I've been in that has been multinational has always had this fucking dynamic. You have black people that are constantly under siege. So the reason why I feel for Small so much is that, like, as a black organizer, particularly a black male organizer, like I've seen this dynamic happen. I've seen this dynamic happen. Am I saying that he was the best leader of the Amazon labor union? Absolutely not. But at the same time, you all rush to throw black people in the fucking garbage for shit that you let white people walk with. Like, you have Graham Plattner, who's currently being feted by the entire social democratic left. This guy was literally a Blackwater mercenary, okay? He was not drafted. He was not made to go to Iraq. He went to Iraq back and forth, murdering people and pissing on their bodies. And now he's back over here talking about how it made him feel so sad, and how all the guns and stuff that he had the opportunity to use could have been better spent giving education and free lunches to the little honkoids in Maine. Okay? Yeah, he has a point, but at the same time, like, why are you elevating this man, and why are you acting like this man that doesn't have a literal fucking SS tattoo? But Christian Smalls, okay, again, this guy did not go to how to start a union school. He was never a union staffer. He didn't cut his teeth in the AFL-CIA or anything like that. This dude was raw, off the streets, straight off the fucking warehouse floor. Basically the type of union organizer that everybody says that they want. Of course he fucking made mistakes. This guy, like, he's basically like what a lot of people understand about the proletariat is that there is no fucking perfect proletariat. Okay. So y'all are down this guy's throat and shitting on him because he did not give AOC. Okay. First of all, as he said, fuck AOC. Yes, I'm saying it. I know I'm a member of her organization. Actually, it's not her organization. She's a member of the same organization that I am. Yes, I'm a member of DSA, and I'm personally saying fuck AOC. She's an opportunist. She's a narcissist. She betrayed the people of Gaza, and she was Biden's running dog. I voted against, at convention last year, I voted against DSA seeking out and running a candidate for president because I knew they were going to try to foist AOC's funky ass on us. Fuck AOC. And furthermore, like you go down and further, you see this, okay? So Christian is saying that that's Cap, my team. I don't get involved that he said, she said. I don't know either of these people personally. But Christian's saying, okay, that's Cap, my team found me. He definitely doesn't want to give the credit to AOC. Hasn't heard from her in 4 years since they unionized. So Jessica says that she's the one who reached out to AOC personally to help locate you. Okay, if this is true, okay, she did her fucking job. What do you want? A fucking round? Like, why are you using this working class black man to try to continue to puff up AOC? Like, why are you doing that? Trying to sanitize her reputation. Like, are black people just objects to you or something? So Getulio says this is why hero worship from left-wing pundits is cringe. It's mutated into a glorified PR outfit. Let's rush to give so-and-so clout to manufacture a bump in the polls. Okay. So, yeah, Chris has had smoke for AOC. His Chris, not mine. Has had smoke for AOC. So, yeah, this is, okay, so you have her in this tacky outfit with this tacky pocketbook, tacky handbag. It took ContraPoints a whole year just to make one video on Twilight that was 2 hours long. Well, shit, I can bust that out another day. But anyway, so yeah, this is called being compromised. Okay, so you're hanging out at the fucking Met Gala. Christian Smalls got arrested for protesting the Met Gala. Delitos. This is AOC's legacy. Okay, she's a fucking embarrassment to DSA. I'm not even saying that his leadership was exactly correct, but Smalls had some good points vis-a-vis his opponents at ALU. Class struggle unionism can be more important than a contract at all costs. Yeah. I'm not going to get involved in that because I was never a member of the ALU. And yeah. And then this asshole, Joe Rote, says that why would AOC reach out to, okay, first of all, Christian Smalls owes neither you nor AOC anything. You were sued out of ALU leadership years ago. Apparently they squashed that beef. But like, why do people always rush to like use carceral methods? Like, oh, you were such a you were such a shitty leader that you were sued out of leadership. You were a horrible dictator, Idi Amin. And it's like, okay, would you say this about fucking Graham Plattner? Well, Graham Plattner is not a union boss. Would you say this about Sean Fain, who you seem to be like pushing a cult of personality around? Like, I've seen Teamsters saying this. Like, bro, y'all's president is fucking SOB, Sean O'Brien. The guy who's literally been fucking glazing Republicans ever since he's been in office. Have y'all removed him yet? Like, it's just this. I'm not even like defending Smalls. As Smalls, I'm defending him because like I've been in the shoes of a black dude that white people seem intent on tearing down and destroying. And I was raised by black women, okay? So like I was put on code. And I'm not going to join white people in helping to destroy another black person. I'm sorry. If he did some fucked up shit, okay, cool. White people have done fucked up shit that will probably eradicate us as a species if we do not have communism tomorrow. So like primary and secondary contradiction. So Small says, I'm just a fired Amazon worker, bro. Secondly, you're just wrong. I never ran for re-election because I didn't want to swing for leadership, then help bring Amazon to the table. Stop believing clickbait. Lastly, I don't give a damn about a politician, not my savior. Okay, so the guy's already to the left of most of DSA. And fuck AOC, how about that? Man, he was correct. And it's like, I'm just not going to prop up a non-black person at the expense of, yeah, call it race consciousness, call it like loyalty, but like no. Christian Smalls is not the only person to ever be high-handed. I saw somebody praising Jimmy Hoffa the other week, and people were like, "Oh yeah, he took care of his people." Okay, Jimmy Hoffa worked with the fucking mouth. Oh, hi Diego.
Good evening.
What's up? Got the train?
Yeah, the Portland public transportation. I don't know. Something was. It was just the. I'm not even sure what really happened. I would assume it's something about like the way that the trains were designed. They weren't designed to withstand a large amount of heat because they were constructed before global warming got as bad. But I don't know. There was a power outage at one of the train stations. Anyways.
Oh. So how have you been otherwise besides piss poor public transit and poorly designed trains?
I've been doing all right. I've been mainly like focusing on the whole disarm PSU campaign thing that
I thought you were about to say disarm PSL for a minute.
Disarm PSL. I haven't seen a PSL member with a gun yet, so I don't know. I don't expect a campaign on taking away their guns anytime soon.
Okay. Going to the next general meeting and saying to everyone that I meet, "What's up, Cracker?" Well, it seems that you are definitely Cracker control brain. I really like this. Like, I did not know that there was like a campaign to like call Zoran out for basically being lukewarm on the No More 24 thing.
We have to end the 24-hour workday.
但你现在同胡者州长同源何物？那你逼着我们绝食抗议。市议长已经答应我们5月14号提交法案。曼丹尼，你即刻斷絕胡楚州長嘅關係，同工人站在一起。No more 24.
It's old women are getting ready to give Zoran a struggle session. So, so you're at a PSU. What does that stand for?
Portland State University. It's I'm a student there. I don't know if I should what sort of background I should give. Like,
don't dox yourself, Diego.
No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to. And so I don't know. Should I go back to like talking about why Oregon's so white in the first place?
That is interesting because, like, I know that history, but a lot of people don't. But yeah, like, yeah, go ahead. Tell us why Oregon is so white.
Yeah, so Oregon was effectively founded as a white ethno-state. In the constitution of the state, it was, if I remember correctly, the founders of Oregon did not want slaves in the state, but they also didn't want black freedmen out running.
They didn't want no black people. They didn't want no black people. Period.
Didn't want any black people, so they barred black people from entering the state entirely. So, for like the first few decades of Oregon's existence, it was almost exclusively white. I think there was some black people, but they weren't dense enough, or like they couldn't really form a coherent community for the first few decades.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of like because people talk about like, okay, yeah, black people went through fucking hell because of Jim Crow, but like nobody ever talks about like Latinos, like because there were very few in Mississippi or Alabama or Georgia back in like the 50s and the 60s. Same thing, like Asians, Chinese, etc. Like, you know, Latino people and Chinese people were actually allowed to go to segregated universities that black people were not allowed to. Why? Because like it didn't mean that they like absolutely would just loved Chinese people or Mexicans. They were just like, okay, there's not enough of them. Whereas black people, they figured that okay, this state is damn near half black. If they all start going to university, then there's going to be problems. So like, yeah, it's always been like you said, it's always been a density thing. Like you go to the Southwest, Arizona, Mexico, um, New Mexico rather, and it's like they basically had like special programs and stuff to treat Latino people like shit. Like you had the literally called Operation Slur. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm referring to. That like, okay, we're gonna bring them all up here to be braceros, do agricultural labor and stuff like that. Then Eisenhower in the 50s booted all of them back across the Rio Grande. So yeah, like it's always like white people have always like, okay, if there's just a few of you, okay, you could be our token or whatever. But like if there's like hundreds of you or thousands of you, then yeah, we need to do something special to keep y'all under control. White people are extremely paranoid about large amounts of minorities in their midst.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure the like exact story of why exactly black people were not like allowed in the state at all, other than that just people were too racist. The white people were too racist and just wanted the whole state for themselves.
They would have seen us as competition for jobs and land.
Yeah, but well, there was also like a bunch of Chinese immigrants that did come in and
that were treated like shit.
Yeah. But they didn't, I don't think they outright barred Chinese people from entering the state. They just prevented them from a bunch of things like owning, I think they prevented them from owning land, businesses, property, stuff like that. So
yeah. Like here's the thing, like white people they're like caught between a rock and a hard place. Like they simply cannot live without minorities because they needed minorities to do all this hard ass labor because like let's be real. There weren't going to be any Irishmen or anything doing hand laundries or making food or anything like that. These people went out west to get rich. Same reason they had brought enslaved Africans over here in the first place. Like these people were too lazy to grow their own fucking excuse me, to grow their own fucking food. Like they would have starved to death if it wasn't for Tisquantum and Powhatan and I was about to say fucking Venezuela in Virginia. So like these people did not even grow their own food. They didn't want to go hunt for food. Like these were basically like the second and third fail sons of minor landed gentry back home or like failed merchants and shit. So they came to get rich. They came to make money. They thought they would land in Virginia and then in Plymouth and pick fucking gold up off the ground. And of course, they realized that wasn't the case. So at Jamestown, they were fucking eating each other, and half the Pilgrims died on the Mayflower. So they needed they saw themselves as needing like somebody that would do this grunt labor at which they would off which they would survive. Did I just summarize Settlers? Have you read that yet?
I've not read it, but I feel like I should. There's a bunch of stuff that I haven't read, but I feel like I should. Like, I've been wanting to do a compare and contrast with, like, George Novak's America's Revolutionary Heritage and I forget the other book, Gerald Horne's The Counter-Revolution of 1776.
It's a good one.
Because
anything by Horne is good.
Because like they have like fairly different titles with different implications, but I feel like if I were to read and analyze both, I would get a pretty well-rounded view of the like American Revolution and stuff like that. I haven't gotten to it yet though. I guess simultaneously too lazy and too busy with organizing at YDSA.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's good that you're like you focus on one thing, because I've seen so many people. Like I started with student organizing too. I was never in YDSA. This was long before my DSA days. This was in my ultra days. But it's good. Like I saw so many people burn out because they tried to do too much. Like you cannot do student organizing, then tenant organizing. You could blend student organizing with tenant organizing because a lot of students are tenants. Well, most students are tenants. You're all either tenants of the university or tenants of off-site landlords. But like pretty much all students are tenants, so you can blend it that way. But like find shit that like find ways to blend organizing together as opposed to try to stick your fingers in too many pots. But yeah, you're not lazy. Um, I'd rather somebody that actually does the work than somebody that just sits around and reads books all day and never applies what they learn. What's all those books behind you? I see a stack that look the same.
They're my brothers, and they're not. Well, I guess these ones are books. I have no clue what they are. Pretty much everything behind me is my brother's. My side of the room is off camera, but it's a lot less full. My bookshelf is on top of my computer screen.
My bookshelf is I've got one bookshelf over there. I've got books on the floor over here because I have so many books that my bookshelf broke. Let's see what I have. Just randomly grabbing shit off the book pile. I've got Max Elbaum's Revolution in the Air. I've got this is part of a series. This is basically a giant, massive Bible of interviews with World War II vets. This is Small Unit Tactics. This book will probably get you in prison. Let's see what else. This is a Panther biography by David Hilliard. He was a centrist. I've got Behemoth, Always Know Your Enemy, The Struggle and Practice of Nazism, 1933 to 1944 by Fox Neumann. Yeah. I also ripped the dust covers off my books. I don't know why I do that. But anyways, back to you. So I heard that there's a big struggle at Portland State against the pigs.
Yeah, so again, a little more background. If I'm remembering I hope that wasn't important, something that fell.
You just knocking shit down in there, D. What's going on? You good?
I have unorganized piles of everything, movies and books.
You're good.
But so a little bit of background. As far as I know, prior to like 2014, the campus police did not have guns at PSU. So for the most part, students of color had to just worry about, the regular police harassing them and brutalizing them and stuff like that. That's for the most part, at least. And then, like in 2014, they got guns. I heard from someone who was a student at that time that in talks with the student government, their main argument was that they wanted guns so they can feel more like men, which was just like, now I tell everyone that I meet that story, because just like, I don't know, saying that you need a gun to feel like a man, I think it feels stupid, and especially
that's for like that's how many of them feel, though.
Especially for like cops. You're a cop with
a lot of these people become police because they were bullied in school, and they want to get back at them, mad at the world. Like there's like a substantial percentage of these pigs, college pigs and regular pigs, are like abusers to their partners, to their wives, and to their girlfriends. Like these people, they use access to these things to state databases to stalk or harass women. So like, yeah, I mean these are very sick, fucked up people that become police in this country, and of course they go out and they pick on minorities, they kill minorities, they abuse people, they work with ICE. Like what type of sick fuck would become an ICE agent? Like go and drag little kids away from their families, and lock up the fucking paletero. dude just try to sell fucking ice cream, and you gotta just grab him, take his money away, and overflip his ice cream thing, his little ice cream cart. When I was in Chicago, I loved the fucking paleteros. Walking around with like, and they got all kinds like little fruit stuff like that, and like, why would you bother a guy like that? The dude is not doing shit wrong but trying to sell some ice cream and make some money like everybody else in this abominable pishole. Like these are evil people that become ICE and become cops. So yeah, they're gonna have guns, and they're gonna use them because that's what makes them feel powerful. That's what makes them feel big. That's what makes them feel in control. The thing about settlers is that they want to feel if they are not in control, they lose their fucking minds. They have to be in charge or have the feeling that they're in charge at all times. Otherwise, they crash out.
Yeah. And speaking of ICE, they like just 1 or 2 weeks ago, I think they actually detained a food truck owner at PSU. And it's just like the guy just sells like, I think it was Laotian food.
Ooh.
He was
I've never had Laotian food.
Yeah. He was just a food truck owner. Now he's not even in the Portland ICE Center. The Portland ICE Center, I remember hearing, has like some legal resources, so at least immigrants can have some. Like it's still terrible, but at least there's something that can be done. Tacoma, he was taken to Tacoma, and that's from what I hear, that's just a straight concentration camp. There's there's not very much that can like. It's very hard.
I believe when they catch him in St. Louis, they take him to Cape Girardeau, which is a rural part of the in a rural part of the state.
Yeah,
but like they don't want it to where like people could access their to where people could access their families and stuff like that. They want to keep them, like they said, it's a concentration camps. They want to keep them away, and like they're also like the same reason they build prisons in rural areas and fill them up full of Black and Latino people. Because like if they built a prison in the middle of North St. Louis, you escape from there. Okay, your house is 2 or 3 miles away. You break out of prison in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, or Potosi or Pacific or Bonne Terre, and these other places. Yeah, you're gonna be on the corner on the fucking side of the highway trying to hitchhike with orange pajamas on. It's not gonna work. Well, actually in Missouri they wear khaki, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. The Tacoma Detention Center isn't even in Oregon.
No, it's in Washington.
All the way up to Washington just to put them there and get them like deported as quickly as possible, because I think they tried to get him deported on the same day they detained him.
The fuck? So so don't even see a judge. Don't even have the opportunity to get a lawyer.
No due process. No. Thankfully, it sounds like it sounds like there might be a chance to like get him out, but
yeah, that's fucking illegal. You basically just gonna grab the dude and put him on a plane the same day.
Well, Chris, I would assume that you, of all people, would know that the law is just the law.
Bro, like some of this shit is shocking to me still. Like this is just blatant. Like, and they've basically done away with at least even the facade of due process. Like you're supposed to see a judge. You're supposed to be allowed access to an immigration attorney. There's supposed to be paperwork passed back and forth. They just snatched this man up and tried to shove him on a plane back to Laos the same day. Like some of this stuff, yeah, I get it. Like I know, like I impress people as like, I don't know, I guess like an eternal nihilist, but like some of this stuff shocks the hell out of me. Like they are just fucking entirely masked off with this stuff. And the annoying thing is that a lot of the left seems to continue to be like stuck on rules and stuff. Oh, they can't do that. Well, guess what, buddy? They fucking are.
Yeah, they. I assume the Tacoma ICE Center tried to detain him or tried to deport him as soon as they detained him, because like his family started a GoFundMe that was titled "Please help Nong start his new life in Laos," because he couldn't even like get anything back from his house. He built an entire life here, and he couldn't. And now he had to abandon all of it.
Jesus Christ!
It sounds like
this man has come over here, worked selling food, feeding these ungrateful motherfuckers, and this is how it just makes me fucking sick.
Yeah, and it
It's
all
fucking now. So they've impounded his food truck, and everything, taken his house, and it's just fucking like. And they tell you, America is a place where you can come and make good. Like you're just seeing the whole fucking American dream bullshit being just having its mask stripped off. Like this is supposed to be a place where you can come do good for yourself if you're treated like shit in your home country. Like this is what they tell people. This is what they taught us in civics class. This is what they taught us in AP Gov and all this shit. If you come to the United States, you do right, you don't do any stupid shit, and you work hard, you become a citizen and do all that, then you can make it. But now they have this guy who was doing everything he was supposed to do, and they just tried to round him up and put him on a fucking plane out of the country.
Yeah, and thankfully, it sounds like it sounds like his family is working on like getting him out of there. But it was like very. I saw the news on the day that it happened, and it was like, and I was at PSU at the time. I didn't see the detainment happen myself, but I was at PSU when I saw the news, and I was just like, oh my goodness, that's horrible. And there's also, I think, recently a lawsuit around like, despite the fact that Oregon is a sanctuary state, the cops have been like giving ICE details on, allegedly the cops have been giving ICE details on like who may or may not be an illegal immigrant. So it's just like, I don't know. There's
like the same shit that happened in New York. Like Zoran, he was like, "Oh, NYC is a happy little sanctuary city. Immigrants are our strength." And then the other day, you had ICE go in and snatch a dude at the hospital. Like this, and this is the type of shit that's going to make Zoran a one-term mayor. The police are going to ruin his fucking term because, like, for one, he continues to suffer Jessica Tisch. He tried. Everybody knows that he basically kept her because he wants to make Hochul happy. And now Hochul is fucking him over, basically saying, we're not giving you anything that you want. Fuck you, Zoran. Like, these people are actively trying to sabotage him. These people do not want somebody that calls himself a democratic socialist to be mayor of New York. And instead of realizing this, these fucking idiots surrounding him continue to just sit back and watch like bumps on a log as more and more stupid shit happens. That is detrimental to the integrity of our project, and it's detrimental to Zoran's administration because this man still has 3.5 years left, and those are going to be a hard 3.5 fucking years. If this is a preview of coming attractions, he ain't gonna make it.
Yeah, it sounds like, I don't know, when for whatever reason, I'm being reminded that like when the National Guard was like, when Donald Trump threatened to send the National Guard into Portland, I instantly like wrote up an article. It's on Reform and Revolution website. Let me see if I found it. Let's see if it loads fast enough. Okay, it doesn't look like the web application this is letting me. I'll send it through Discord.
No. You're good.
So, yeah, there was as soon as like I heard about that, I instantly went to write an article on like, we need a class war to defeat the National Guard. You know, there's like all of this stuff happening all at the same time. Not too long before this, Donald Trump had like signed an executive order on like trying to criminalize left-wing activity. And so I wrote up that, like, if we want to actually beat this, we can't really, like, even if you're going to take Tina Kotek and Pritzker and like whatever other Democratic politician, I'm gonna turn on my light for a second. It's getting a little dark in here. Even if you take every like Democratic politician at their word, the thing is you can't really count on them because at this point their individual words don't carry that much weight. And Donald Trump has been like showing that he's not willing to respect authority anymore. So
no, he respects it. No, he is the authority. He respects, like, he's the commander in chief. He runs all this shit. If he wanted to nuke Iran last week, he could have done so. Like, he is the owner of the nuclear weapons until he leaves office.
Yeah, but
2029.
At this point, if I remember correctly, when I wrote this, this was also like shortly after he wrongfully deported an American citizen, and the Supreme Court told him bring him back. And he said
that was
no.
Guillermo Abrego.
Yeah, that happened, and it was just like, you know, this is just blatantly defying the Supreme Court because you think you can get away with it. And
he did get away with it.
I think like 1 year later or something, unless if I'm misremembering, wasn't he brought back? Or
oh yeah, he was brought back, but he's still like Trump. Nothing happened to Trump because of that.
Oh yeah, that in the sense that like no consequences were made. That's accurate.
Yeah, so he got away with it.
Yeah, and you know, you when that type of stuff starts happening, you can't really depend on the words of electeds, and you got to also realize that electeds are not like are not the people who fundamentally make this world run. It's the workers, and the workers have to act right now if there's anything to be done. And you know, I cited like the anti-poll tax campaign, France in 1968. So just like, yeah, and I wrote that, and then the next thing I knew, like 2 city councilors from Portland DSA said, like Portland DSA city councilors are relatively a lot better than I think most others, but they still have a bunch of problems. And one of them showed here. 2 city councilors were saying like, we're going to legally challenge this, and we need everyone to believe in the courts.
Well, it's like, yeah, you're laying all this stuff out, but like you mentioned earlier that like, oh, BRG, I can't believe you are shocked at this, but like the ability of some American socialists to just bury their heads in the sand and be like, oh yeah, believe in the courts. It's like, is it going to take y'all being on a fucking train to a concentration camp to realize the reality of the situation that we're in? I think that's what it'll take for a lot of people. But by then, it'll be too late. So, how goes the struggle at PSU? I'm sorry, I got a horrible migraine.
Yeah. All right. So, back to PSU after this long tangent.
Don't drink a whole bunch of coffee.
Well, the campus police, like 4 years after they were armed, they inevitably killed someone. They killed a black man who was on campus.
Of course.
44 years old, letter carrier. He had a gun, but he was.
They killed the fucking mailman. They shot the fucking mailman.
He was trying to break up a fight, because like he was at one of the like bars nearby. He witnessed a fight. He tried to break it up, and the campus police came by. Apparently, his gun dropped out of his pocket, and he tried to grab it, and then the cops shot at him 17 times.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's really insane, and I don't know. The guy was he was a veteran. He knew his like way around guns. He had a permit.
Yeah, so the police fucking killed him anyway because they saw a gun. He went down and tried to get it, probably to stop some fucking body from getting it and going to town with it, and they killed him. They shot the fucking mailman for trying to break up a fight.
Yeah.
Another day in America.
It was
so that's what triggered.
Like,
so that's what triggered this campaign against the police.
If I remember correctly, there was one originally around when the cops were first getting their guns. However, it wasn't particularly powerful. In 2018, it grew really bad. It grew really big, and they, if I remember correctly, the Portland State University Student Union, I think, they held a nonviolent occupation of the campus public safety office. I'm trying to find the article that I wrote about this, but the website is not loading. Okay. I guess I'll keep on talking. They held a nonviolent occupation of the campus public safety office, although it doesn't sound like there's no articles that I could find on like what happened immediately after the occupation ended, but it doesn't sound like it was particularly successful because
it was because it was a non-violent occupation.
I would assume it's partly because of that. When I read the articles on it, it said like the occupation didn't even like prevent people from getting into the office. It was
a pointless fucking protest. It was pointless. It didn't do anything. Yeah. It didn't make any demands of power. It did not impede power, so power could safely ignore it.
I think the bigger thing is also just like if you really wanted to like target the people in power, you would have gone to the building where the administration actually has their offices and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
That's why you got to think about him. You got to think about and plan stuff out.
Yeah.
Just be like, oh, we should occupy such and such. Like,
but it was a massive, it was a massive show of force, and it was.
Wasn't a show of force.
It had
show of force. The show of force. Actually, you said that they don't. You said that they didn't even stop people from entering the building. It wasn't a show of force.
It was a show of like the popularity of the movement, and it had a bunch of guest speakers from Black-led organizations in Portland.
Okay,
but so it sounds like
it was basically a giant rally.
Sort of, yeah. But like I said, it doesn't sound like it resulted in very many things happening because the movement died down and then revived itself again in 2020 to it revived again in 2020, and this time there was an entire citywide movement of constant protests. There was like protest for 100 days, I think. There was
so this was during George Floyd rebellion.
Yeah, and like one city block at one point, I think there was this thing called the Red House on North Mississippi. Black family was getting evicted from their.
I remember that.
Yeah, and they like turned one city block into like a massive.
You guys had a Chaz?
I don't know how exactly to say it other than like there was a bunch of anarchists at the time who occupied the entire city block.
You guys had a Chaz. You remember Chaz in Seattle?
Oh, right. Now I'm remembering. The mayor actually said something like, we're not going to have a Chaz here in Portland. And they kept
But you
on
had a
like
Chaz in Portland. Stupid
yeah,
mayor.
They like tried to tear it down at first by force, and then it eventually sounds like they conceded to the black family.
That's why I fuck with anarchists, because Maoists talk about base areas. Anarchists go and start base areas. They put the money where their mouth.
It was a great victory for at least that family. And if I remember correctly, it happened after the immediate height of the Black Lives Matter movement. So it also showed that there was still a massive amount of energy for that sort of thing. And I guess PSU decided to take a hint and make a partial victory because it doesn't embed the link. Okay. PSU decided to take a hint and give a partial concession of like unarmed patrols. It wasn't complete disarmament like the movement was saying they wanted. I sent the article, I believe, to your Discord again. The original disarm PSU, they called out the fact that it was just unarmed patrols in some areas because like it's not complete disarmament, but the news kept on reporting like, yeah, PSU has finally been disarmed. No need to protest anymore. And
you write a lot, Diego.
Yeah, I like writing, and I also felt like, I needed to write this to bring some attention to what actually happened here, because like there appeared to be some there appears to be like some misconceptions about what actually happened, like that PSU did a full disarmament, which didn't happen. It also sounds like some people were running on outdated information. Like when I tell some older comrades in Portland DSA, hey, I'm running this disarm PSU campaign, they tell me like sometimes I'll hear like, wait, didn't they disarm back in 2021 or something? And
apparently they didn't, because you're talking to them about it. I hate people like that. Oh, didn't they? No, they didn't, because I'm fucking talking to you about it.
No, it's they lied to everyone.
They know every fucking thing.
And the thing is, they didn't even keep it after 2023, or like 4 months into 2023. I think they decided, you know what? All of the organizations are in decline. The PSU Student Union dissolved. Super was in decline. It was just like, you know what? Let's bring back the guns. We don't think there'll be any more protests about this. And it didn't seem like...
Why are they so adamant? Like, is PSU like a fucking dangerous, horrible war zone campus or something? Why do y'all's cops need guns?
The admin feel like it.
Do they allow students to have guns?
I don't think so. They I thought I remember hearing PSU doesn't even allow like pepper spray for students. So like, okay, so as everybody knows, like young women students on colleges are at like on college campuses are at immense risk for
for being assaulted. So if I were a university administrator that actually cared about the well-being of my women students and colleagues, like I would be like, hey, y'all can y'all are at risk. Y'all have the right to have pepper spray and even guns. But like the pigs, they're not going to do shit.
Of
So
course.
they don't give a shit about safety because if you did, you would allow students and staff to take measures to protect themselves. But no, you want to maintain the monopoly of force in the hands of people who apparently have not discharged their firearms in to protect anybody's life, unless you consider killing mailmen to be maintaining the safety and security of the campus.
Yeah, and the worst part about that is, like, if I remember correctly, last year there was some proposed cuts, I think mainly by the administration, but the like student government, which is, of course, like all student governments, it's more like an advisory committee than anything. They the Women's Resource Center has like some resources for handling things like rape at PSU in ways that the cops can't. So, and yet PSU was proposing, I think, 15% cut to the Women's Resource Center. So,
wow,
they just don't give a it. Well, yeah, they don't give a shit about anyone really. I go to their I've been to bargaining sessions where they treat the adjunct faculty just like, I don't know. It's all bad.
Like shit.
Yeah. And the president occasionally will say some dumb stuff like, bigger class sizes are better for students because
What?
Yes, the president of PSU and CUD.
That made my headache worse.
Let me see if I can pull up the.
Why do you fucking YDSA people love torturing me so much?
Well, this is just what's going on at the.
If you're not stealing my
university.
little red book, if you're not stealing my little red book or waking me up gambling at convention, you're telling me that larger class, your president of your college says that larger class sizes is better. Hey, I'm so glad I'm not in uni anymore.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not great. It's an absolute fucking shit show. Sounds like to me.
Okay, I found the article from the adjunct faculty union that specifically comments on that comment. Larger class sizes are good because
your president's name is Chud
and CUD, but
I thought that said Chud.
No, but we over at PSU YDSA we do refer to her in our chants as Ann Chud.
Oh,
so close enough.
Oh my god, this lady looks like an evil librarian. Like she looks like she'll chop your head off for spilling a little bit of water in a book.
Yeah, she is a capitalist feminist.
A capitalist. I imagine she's a big Hillary fan.
Maybe. I wouldn't know. I haven't. The main thing I know about her, she wrote a bunch of stuff on why capitalism benefits women, and she said what you're looking at over there, and
because nobody likes to be in a class that has only about 4 or 5 other students, because if you don't show up, you really are noticed, for one thing. But the other thing is, it's all on you and a couple others to carry on a discussion and actually, work together. So it's a better classroom experience when there are more students in there. What the fuck is she talking about? That's somebody that runs a school like a business, to be honest. Like I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the small seminar type classes when I was in college. Actually,
well, she is. I think she has a net worth of $7 million,
7 million. Ew.
she gets $700,000 a year, which I think is more than double the salary the president got from back in 2022, and we're facing like millions of dollars budget deficit
She
right
gets
now.
700 grand a year to say stupid shit like that.
Yeah, while adjunct professors are
Sleep
paid
in their cars
basically-
and on their tents. And in
Yeah,
tents.
because
Yeah. When I was in school, I was involved, like, meaning I chained myself to a balcony and got myself arrested by my school's police. But that was in solidarity with our adjuncts who were trying to get a contract. And yeah, like one of the adjuncts actually taught one of the courses I took, and he was like, "Yeah, man, like I know people just in passing, like in professional circles, that sleep in their fucking cars or they couch surf and do stuff like that. Like it's fucking horrible. Like, and again, we were taught growing up, go to school, get your degree, you got it made in the shade. Yet here you are, you're a whole ass professor, sleeping in your car or bouncing between your buddy's house uh, and your mom's house or your grandma's house or wherever you can find a couch to flop down on. You take a shower at the gym. You keep your clothes in various places, carry them around in a duffel bag, and that's just a fucking horrible way to live.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, these are full college professors who have had to, like, they face the same requirements as like full-time professors, but it's just like they're just paid poverty wages. So
yeah. Why do you think so many schools are like? Why do you think so many schools are like basically relying on adjuncts? Like the adjuncts, they're basically the proletariat of the university.
Yeah,
along with the proletariat of the teaching staff. And it's like, yeah, they have nothing to lose but their chains. They treat them like absolute fucking dog shit. A lot of my friends that I went to school with, they're adjuncts, and like they have to have 2-3 other jobs just to keep an apartment. It's fucking horrible.
Yeah, and it's, I think it's, I don't know. I've sometimes referred to the adjunct faculty union as like the vanguard of PSU because like they know what's up. They've been like consistently agitating on a platform of like caring about like students. They, I think, also tried to get disarming the campus police into their contract. However, it doesn't sound like they were particularly successful in mobilizing for that. Which is another thing. The Portland State University, it's very hard to like do any student organizing on there. Like less than I think 1% of students actually live on campus. Most students.
It's a commuter school.
Yes, most students are coming in from like across the Portland metro area, and there's barely a community at PSU.
That's why it's so hard to organize. That's why it's hard to organize at community colleges because like community colleges don't have dorms. So like if you have, and then like people are of varying ages, they're varying programs, they have various politics. Like most people, like a community college, they're like, okay, I'm here, take my little couple courses, go to work, go home, see to my kids. Like that's why most student organizing, it takes place at traditional schools that have residential facilities or like have apartments and shit around the school because like that actually welds a community together.
Yeah, and I think the the administration at PSU likes it that way. It makes student organizing very hard, and to me, it seems like that's the primary reason why they felt so comfortable bringing back the guns, because
they knew there was no threat.
Yeah, and I guess that leads us into 2026. Nearly all of the original student organizations that organized for Disarm PSU, a lot of them are gone, and
because everybody graduated.
Partially because of that. There was also just the fact that, well, the Black Lives Matter movement sort of died down. We don't see anywhere near the same amount of militancy that we saw in 2020. Well, at least that's what.
That's why, comrades, you have to organize. You cannot just rely on riots and mass protests. You have to actually organize both in times of war and in times of peace. It's also why it's important to build a base in the community, because shit is always happening in the community. You might not see it on the news, but somebody's always getting evicted. Somebody's always getting their ass whooped by the police. Somebody's always getting pulled over and fucked with. You mentioned that there was a food truck driver that was deported from your school. So that's why it's so important to have a mass base in the community and do mass work, because a lot of orgs have made the mistake. They rise with the riots and the mass protests, the shit you see on Twitter. And then as soon as the cameras go home, they might hang around for 3 or 4 months, but eventually those people start trickling off. We saw it in Ferguson. When Ferguson popped off, we had Ferguson October. That was when I first started getting politically organized back in 2014. Every org was here. Orgs that don't even exist anymore. The ISO. My first protest sign was actually an ISO sign I literally picked up out the trash. But the ISO, Socialist Alternative, was here. I don't think there was no PSL here. I don't think, for Ferguson. But Frizzo, I almost started an SDS chapter. RCP, of course, was here. They got ran out of Ferguson. I don't think there was DSA in St. Louis until 2018. But all these orgs come to town, and now there's really no. The only orgs here are DSA, PSL. You've got Action St. Louis. You got a lot of. St. Louis really never has taken to national orgs very well. So what we've always done our own thing. We're pretty I call us Rebel City for a reason. We always do our own thing. We don't react well to national leadership or guidance or anything like that. Probably, like I said, the only two really hardcore national orgs here are DSA and PSL. Note that I didn't say Uhuru, which seems to be trying to move here and set up a headquarters here because I consider them a cult. But yeah, my advice to anybody would be riots and shit, they are, as MLK said, the voice of the oppressed. When the masses rise up, we should be out there with them, but at the same time, don't count on and depend on that stuff, and don't orient your organizing around it, because there's always going to be stuff happening. Yeah. So that's why it's important to form actual links with, say, the workers at your school. The workers at your school, they go home to working class neighborhoods where. And when you form actual bonds and ties with these people, if they know that you're an organizer, they'll be like, "Hey, my side chick finna get evicted. Can you help?" Something like that, and that, boom, now you've got an organizing lead. So, yeah, it's difficult, especially when it comes to building bonds with people like that, because they'll be like, "Oh, these little fucking college students, they just playing." But if once people genuinely know that you give a shit, I think that'll be a lot easier to actually, and eventually you'll have more work than you can handle. But that leads to another problem. One thing with organizing is that there's always fucking problems. That's going to go on my fucking tombstone. Always fucking problems.
Yeah. But like I was saying, I ended up starting the YDSA chapter over at Portland State University. There was one back in like 2020 that was like playing a supportive role, mostly in the Disarm PSU movement.
Mhm.
Sarah actually founded the original chapter.
NPC Sarah?
Yes, NPC
Oh,
Sarah.
yeah, she was a guest. It was before she got elected. But yeah, I
Yeah.
love Sarah. She's sweet. And also like one thing I like about Sarah is that like okay, she doesn't like get involved in like the back and forth stuff like this. Like she'll just flat out say, "Okay, you're wrong. You're also wrong, but I like you. I like all you guys, but you're all wrong." That's one thing I like about Sarah. Everybody else is like, "Oh, well, my faction is the best. Your faction sucks. You're the ultras. No, you're the ultras." Sarah's like, You're all fucking wrong." Yeah, that's one thing that I really respect about it.
Yeah. But she started the original chapter. It sounds like it dissolved after 2021, like a lot of orgs. And it sounds like PSU YDSA played a supportive role in the original movement. But now that like it's 2026, we've because there's literally nobody else doing the organizing, we're now playing the leading role. We're
filling a vacuum.
Yeah, we started with we're starting, I guess, because we haven't officially like escalated the campaign beyond. We plan on escalating a little bit, but we haven't escalated it beyond petition, which if you've like seen what I've been like in the Discord of the National DSA, I joke about it being like, all power comes from the paper of a clipboard.
I'm going to use that one.
Yeah. And it's just like, we're starting from scratch. A lot of the students here right now don't know about like the campus police. They barely know anything about the university. They're there to get a piece of paper, not get in trouble. Yeah. And so we're starting by starting the conversations. And so far it's been I think it's been well because we're as it currently stands, our petition is at 433 signatures, which doesn't sound like much, but
433?
Yeah.
How long has it been out?
It's been out since middle of winter term, February.
That's actually really, really good.
Yeah,
I would have loved to have had 433. That's almost 500. You get 500 more, you'll have 1,000. Don't think of it in like. Don't think of things in terms of like numbers, or if you're forced to think of it in terms of numbers, think about, okay, I have 200. Now we got these. If we get 200 more, then we got 400. So like be a glass half full type person. Because if you don't, then that's how you fall into doomerism. Like I would have loved to have had damn near 500 people sign a petition that I made up.
Yeah. Speaking of which, like so at this point, our goal is 850 signatures at the very least by the end of the term. So 433.
It's doable.
We've officially gone halfway there. So
yeah, that's doable.
Yeah. The only thing is there's like 4 weeks left in the term. So we gotta like
focus, no distractions, and grind.
I guess that's sort of like what we're doing right now. We've been locking in on like canvassing people to say, hey, would you like to sign a petition to disarm the campus police? And that's how things have been going. I'm not sure how weird it may come off to people, but with the conversations I've had so far, it seems like a decent amount of people were sort of already leaning towards supporting our petition, and then after hearing the full story of like what is going on at the university, they're saying like, yeah, I also want to get involved in like organizing for this. And so it's been very useful in starting up a bunch of conversations. And it sounds like I've not noticed it myself, but I believe I've heard from other PSU YDSAers that like people are talking about what we're talking about. They are talking about like disarming the campus police. It's becoming and so we are raising that awareness. And on the 28th, we plan on like hosting this massive sort of end of the academic year rally that also serves as a partial escalation of our campaign, because like the way that things work here at YDSA is that there's I don't know, like you've been in organizing circles for a long time, but I don't know if you know the
if you consider 12 years to be a long time, sure. Well, yeah, I guess it is a relatively long time.
I've only been organizing for 3 years. So
yeah, that's a respectable amount of time. Yeah. Time is getting more and more compressed, I've noticed. Like shit that happened a few months ago feels like it happened 5 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I have gotten a decent amount of experience now in like, okay, here's how to plan a rally, here's how to run a campaign, here's the contacts of some city councilors. Like just so I have gotten a decent amount of like experience in that. But
yeah, you can only learn. Yeah, like you can only learn it through doing it.
Yeah, and we've got this campaign timeline, which is standard for like we've got the standard campaign timeline for YDSA, which is like we're starting off with this petition to raise awareness, and our next step is we're going to escalate to much more I guess hands-on protests. Still like they're going to be largely symbolic, if I'm going to be honest.
That's generally what protests are.
It sort of has to be, because we're at that point where we're starting up conversations, but we're not at a critical mass to do like much else than show how much our cause is supported. And
anyways, so yeah, my advice to comrades that are getting involved in that type of organizing is, well, I think I've already said, like, don't press yourself too much. Don't burn out too much. The reason why I've never gotten burnt out is because, one, I'm good at delegating shit to other people, and two, like, I try to maintain a sense of optimism. Like, especially with DSA, yes, there's a variety of critiques. Oh, there's too many white people of the wrong kind with the bad politics, but at the same time, like, we're a lot better than we were before October 7th. We're a lot better than we were before Bernie. Like, consider where DSA was in, say, I don't know, 2011, the year I graduated high school. Yeah, it's a long march. It's not like the problem that I see a lot of younger comrades get into is they want this shit to happen. Like, first of all, they look at stuff in other countries with wildly different conditions. Oh, why can't we do what they're doing in Burkina Faso? Why can't we do what they're doing in Vietnam? Why can't we do what they're doing in Palestine? Like, these are entirely different conditions, and the movements are in different states of development. Whereas here, the American left seems to be intent on destroying itself every 8 years or 12 years over something stupid, then slowly rebuilding itself back together. Or it, like, it survives off these flashpoints like 2020 you mentioned, or 2014, Occupy in 2011, even though that was really a flash in the pan. Who the fuck remembers Occupy anymore? But like, so yeah, the stuff goes on and on and on, and there's no party here. The CPUSA is a fucking joke. DSA is not even a party, although if there was ever to be, um, I hate the term mass party. I'm still a Vanguard guy, but
I personally call whenever I explain what YDSA is, I'm like, we are the youth wing of the Socialist Party. That's usually what I say.
you shouldn't do that. You should say DSA. The Socialist Party is an entirely different thing.
Well,
the Socialist Party, there, SPUSA, SPUSA, the Socialist Party of the USA was actually my first org. They still exist.
Yeah, but I would imagine most people also know that, our parent organization is DSA, but we are, but at the same time, we consider ourselves just to be a socialist party, or like YDSA should consider itself to be building the youth wing of the Socialist Party. And that's what that's what I try to say.
Okay. Yeah, whatever works, works.
But apart from, were you going to say something?
No, go ahead.
I guess I was just going to go back to like the whole rally thing.
So you're holding a rally May 28th, you said?
Yeah. I've reached out to a bunch of groups. I don't know if I should say any of their like names.
Then don't.
Yeah, because like
another rule of organizing: always follow your first mind.
The only organization which I know of that has outright endorsed and said, "Yeah, we're going to send a speaker," is Don't Shoot PDX, which is, from my understanding, was like one of the organizations which was pretty active in the Black Lives Matter movement. Apparently, they had Teresa Rayford run for mayor. Didn't win the Democratic primary, but
that name Don't Shoot Ferguson. They probably trace back to the aftermath of the Mike Brown shooting, because the slogan back then, if you remember, was "Hands up, don't shoot." So there were a lot of don't shoot groups forming all over the place.
When was this?
Mike Brown was in 2014.
Okay, so I wouldn't have remembered because...
Yeah.
I wouldn't have remembered because I was not... 2014. I believe I was in elementary school at that time.
Jesus Christ. Bro, that was my freshman year of college. Thank you. I think I just sprouted like 20 new fucking gray hairs. Anyways.
So, yeah, I didn't know that was actually where the phrase originated, or if that was.
Yeah, that was one of the main slogans for a while. Hands up, don't shoot, because they shot Mike Brown with his hands up.
I've heard that slogan before. I didn't know that it came from 2014.
Yeah, that came from Ferguson. That came from my city.
All right. But back to like...
I feel like a fucking veteran. Christ. Elementary.
Well, yeah, you were... well, I do consider you to be like a class 4 veteran. You've been... Because just like...
Anyway, what were you saying?
You got to wear that to Veterans Day at the local high school.
Yeah. Anyways,
yeah. So they had their founder, I think, Teresa Rayford, run for mayor of Portland, didn't win the Democratic primary, and there was a massive write-in campaign for Teresa Rayford. As far as I know, Teresa Rayford didn't herself necessarily go full in with the campaign, but didn't oppose it. And if I remember correctly, it ended up being one of the most successful write-in campaigns of the century, because it got I forget if it was 10 or 20% of the vote, but a massive amount of people voted for her, wrote in her name. And
wow.
On the one hand, it's pretty cool that a black woman was able to get so much, that a black woman was able to get so many votes in the whitest city in the United States. On the other hand, the pro-cop mayor, Ted Wheeler, got reelected. So
shit happens.
Yeah.
If you see these caramels, by the way, get them. They are really, really, really good.
I'll try to remember that. So we got their endorsement, and it sounds like they're going to be speaking at the
somebody
rally. Yeah. So at the very least, we got them.
Generally, what other orgs want is okay, first of all, to have it's hit or miss. If you're a relatively new org, they'll be okay, who the fuck are these people? Blah 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 blah. Okay, maybe we can go and poach some of their members or something like that. But working with other orgs is it's an ongoing process. Sometimes they might not want to be bothered with you, but on the other hand, if you do something I don't know, you launch a massive campaign or you get a shitload of media attention, then next thing you know, everybody's glazing you. Everybody wants to be your friend. Some of it is genuine. Some of it is okay, they proved themselves. They've shown that they have chops. Some of it is just fucking clout sharking. So just beware of that.
Yeah. Yeah. The way that I've just been doing outreach is, so far I've just been sending emails to whatever groups I could think of and say, hey, we're holding this rally. Would you like to endorse and speak? Which I've been told is not a good way to do outreach.
Yeah, you have to actually show up. When other orgs do events, show up, meet them face to face, and be like, "Hey, I'm such and such. I'm with PSUIDSA. Really enjoyed your program." One hand washes the other. Everybody wants asses in seats at their movie screenings or rallies or whatever. And if you show up and make an effort, and if there's stuff to do, hey, do you need help cleaning up? Want me to help break that table down? Stuff like that. Just make yourself useful to people. Make your org useful to people, and then invite. Because what happens is, if somebody emails me out of the blue, I'm probably going to ignore it. Just like if somebody DMs me on fucking Twitter out of the blue, okay, I don't know who the fuck you are. I don't know what you want. Okay, every time on the left somebody emails you or sends you a thing, it's not to see how you're doing. They want something. So, yeah, just show up, make friends with these people, and build genuine organizing relationships. Organizing is tiresome work. It's hours-long phone calls, talking people down off ledges, sitting in meetings you don't want to be in. But that's how you get people to say, "Oh yeah, I'll be there. We'll send somebody." It's a relationship, just like working with anybody or building up any other type of a relationship. You want people to come to your stuff, you come to theirs.
Yeah, I've been told that that's the proper way to actually do outreach. You make yourself actually known and stuff like that. Which, now that I know that, I will be I will definitely be doing. So I've it also sounds like it's not confirmed yet, but it sounds like we're going to get a bunch of union support from for this rally because, like, at the very least, to me, it sounds like a lot of the unions are on board. The adjunct faculty union on their bargaining platform, they originally had like weapons-free campus, but like I've said, the administration is complete BS. So it's not clear to me that they ever got any concession on that during their bargaining. And the campus police had they were originally part of the classified staffers union at PSU, and then the staffers like
why do unions keep accepting pigs as members?
I don't know, but
why would you accept the police as members in your union?
They did get thrown out. They got thrown out of the union. It sounds like they had a big struggle over that. So
it shouldn't be a big struggle. These people are fucking pigs. They hurt workers.
The only thing I'll say is they are with SEIU, with the Service Employees International Union.
The police are?
The classified staffers union are with that. And so my understanding of the SEIU is that they don't have very good politics. Like, they're notorious for being.
My grandma was a member of the SEIU.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most unions don't have really good politics, comrade. That's something that like it kills me. Like with all these people, they're like, oh, I'm so happy to be in the union. Like, I would never ever be like, oh yeah, don't join a union because like, okay, they serve a very specific purpose. They exist to protect the interests of the workers that are in them. That's literally their job. So would I ever say do not unionize? No. It's always better to be unionized than ununionized. It's always better to have an organization that can have your back. But at the same time, people like they get starry eyed and they're like, oh my, the unions are going to no. I wouldn't want to live in a would you want to live in a world run by the fucking Teamsters under Sean O'Brien? Absolutely not. But like there are reform caucuses in a lot of unions, and there are actual communists in them doing the work. So, they're a mixed bag, like anything else. Any grouping or any strata of society that has literal fucking millions of members is naturally going to have divided consciousness. That's why you unite the advanced to win over the intermediate and isolate the worst of the backwards.
Yeah. The thing is, over here in Portland, I would expect better from the unions because, like, at the very least over here, it doesn't sound like they're like the New Season's labor union was putting out like tweets about like how all cops are scabs and stuff like that, and the labor movement here is also not very pro cop. There was
shit out of them.
Yeah, there was a lot of the attempts to bring cops into the labor movement here in Portland have been.
Why? Why would you do that? Why would you want police in your labor movement? What have these people learned anything from history? You're making my headache worse, Diego.
Over in Portland, it was led by bureaucrats in the Northwest Oregon Labor Council who hate DSA. And
I imagine it's funny when people call us a wing of the Democrats because, like, the Democrats and all these fucking old union heads hate us.
Oh yeah, over here in Portland, we've been like I've said, we're a lot better, I think, our electeds are also a lot better than like a lot of the other DSA chapters. Like you have Zoran over in New York City conceding to Kathy Hochul on. To me, it seems like a lot of things, like not even disbanding the strategic response group. That seems like something very doable, but that
if he does it, he's afraid of pissing off Tish, who's afraid, and then he's afraid of pissing off Hochul, and then he's afraid of pissing off. Basically, what I think Zoran is afraid of is Trump and Hochul putting New York City into a budget crisis. Like, you know that New York City like literally went bankrupt in the 70s, right?
I did not know that.
Yeah. So yeah, he doesn't want the city ended up under like the fucking authority of a like basically an American version of the IMF. So yeah, that's what I think Zoran is afraid of. The man has studied his history, but at the same time, it doesn't mean he needs to be a wet noodle and embarrass our organization consistently.
Yeah. The only thing I think about is like 14,000 members, and you couldn't mobilize any of them for like against Kathy Hochul, against like any sort of, like, I don't know. It seems to me like New York City DSA is a little bit afraid of rank and file power.
They are. Why do you think they don't like? Why do you think that they routinely ignore their straw polls and like basically run roughshod over the members?
Yeah.
Because like that's essentially what it is. It's dominated by a writer's clique, but everybody knows that we're basically beating a dead horse.
Yeah. Over in Portland, it's not like that.
Most DSA chapters are not like that. NYC DSA is its own little animal. Most DSA chapters do not have that type of weird, fucked up, obviously does not work system.
Yeah, but I think Portland is a little it's a little unique because, remind me again, how many members does St. Louis DSA have?
Just under 700.
Portland has 3,000. And
you're a larger city, if I recall correctly.
Wait, is St. Louis population? Okay, so it's like 1/3 the size of Portland. Okay.
St. Louis, well, so you have to consider like our metro area, I think, is around 2.5 million. St. Louis City proper, okay, because so St. Louis DSA is like, I guess, like territory. Isn't just St. Louis City, it also includes St. Louis County, which is where most of the people live in St. Louis. Then you have Jefferson County, which is directly to the south of us, Franklin County, Warren County, and then you're looking at a map of St. Louis, right? There's a river, the Mississippi. Over the river that includes a lot of counties over in Illinois that's called the Metro East. So we cover a pretty big turf. But yeah, St. Louis DSA is it's not bad for, I mean, the size is not bad, but like I'm really trying to get away from this like obsession with numbers, because okay, yeah, it's cool and well to boast about 14,000 members, but how many of those 14,000 are still going to be with us this time next year? How many of those people are going to actually be considered socialist or communist cadre? So I put more importance on quality. Like, how good are these people as organizers? How much, like, how are they? Like, you could, it is like, it's a white people thing to look at people as just like numbers on paper. And like each and every one of those people, I mean, each and every one of those jots that you see in Action Network, whatever, that's a human fucking being. And my goal is to turn as many of those human fucking beings into revolutionaries as possible, because we have to end this thing. If we do not end capitalism, capitalism will end us. If you do not end fascism, fascism will end you. So you can boast and brag about all the numbers and, oh, we have such and such, but like, we have to, retention is my main concern. Like, why are people leaving? That's what I want to find out. Okay, if especially colonized people like you and I, Like, why is DSA only 4% black? That's what I'm concerned about. It's an embarrassment. Like, I go up to a black person and I'm like, join DSA, and then I'm recruiting them into an organization where they're likely to face all types of micro or macro aggressions. So there's a lot of work that we have to do.
Yeah.
So I don't get hung up over numbers. I want to see, like, I want quality. I want quality, and I want more colonized organizers. That's what I want. We can recruit white liberals all day long, but those people are generally they leave a lot to be desired, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I get your point, and you do bring up a good point on like retention, and it does sort of also remind me part of the reason like why I've been going so hard on like the Disarm PSU campaign is just because like, you know, that DSA is so white problem. I didn't initially see it. It was only until I brought my mother to a general meeting that she pointed out, you know, there's a lot of white people in the room, and that stuck with me. It's just like, yeah, I do notice there's a lot of white people in the room, and you know, it's
to be fair, you are in Portland.
Yeah, Portland is a very white city.
It's the whitest major metropolis in the United States, isn't it?
I think so. However, at the same time, we're the Democratic Socialists of America. Socialism is supposed to be liberation, especially for the most oppressed people. If we're not like attracting the most oppressed people, then you know
there's a problem. There's what we Maoists would call an issue of line and an issue of practice.
And I think it's it's maybe it's easier to dismiss it here because like because the demographics of Portland are, you know, just like that. It's and you know, I was thinking like, okay, what aren't we really doing? And the big thing we're not really doing is since 2020, we haven't really been doing any organizing against like the police. We're not organizing. I think we're facing the sort of similar problem where that like I think the rest of DSA has, where after 2020, a lot of the Black Lives Matter organizing sort of just dropped down and hasn't really gone back up, when the thing is like we need to be talking more about this. And the thing is, when I'm starting up my YDSA chapter, it's just like, you know what, if we're not going to, if this is the problem, let's just fix that. Let's actually campaign on something that matters to let's campaign on something that matters to a lot of people of color in Portland generally.
Do you know what SICA is?
I've heard of it before.
Social investigation and class analysis. There you go. You got it.
Yeah.
I would say, like, never, ever, ever just try to go out and speculate as to, we think the people, like, actually go to the people themselves and, like, do fact-finding missions, as Mao would say. Like, don't just show up and be like, hey, what do you think about it? That's this. It's like people ignore people like that. They're like, okay, he's trying to sell me something, or he's a cop. So, like just like I said, form ties with these communities, organic ties, not like, I'm trying to sell you stuff or I'm trying to recruit you into my left-wing organization type stuff, but like form actual organic, like make friends with people. And like that's how you find out what's going on. Like shooting the shit is a long lost skill that leftists need to cultivate. So the reason why a lot of campaigns fail is because in many cases, the people didn't want them in the first place. The people weren't studying this shit in the first place. That's why they did not show up to rallies. That's why they didn't sign petitions. That's why they didn't go down to City Hall, etc. Whereas if people are actually like excited about something, they won't need you to constantly hit them up, text them. They'll show up to their own. They'll show up on their own because this is something that they see as being important, and this is something that they are comfortable giving 3 and 4 hours of their lives to. You get what I'm saying? So always remember, never forget that you have to ask the people what they want to do, and what is important to them. Otherwise, you're being commandist, and people are going to ignore you, and you'll just be wasting your time with useless campaigns that don't work. So yeah, you have to go to the people.
In my defense, the campaign is modeled after. Well, the campaign is modeled after a mass movement that happened after a mass movement that already existed and then died down. So,
yeah.
But at the same time, yeah,
I wasn't attacking you. I've just seen like and I've participated in campaigns myself that were like, okay, we think that people want to, because we read a news article. Oh, this is what people are mad about. That might be what people are mad about in a certain area, or that might have been what people were mad about at that time. But then you go and you ask, it's like, oh, well, yeah, that was a couple weeks ago, but yeah. So I think part of like being on time and like catching the energy of the masses when shit actually happens, because one thing that DSA is really good at is playing catch up. Like we show up 2 months after something happens, still talking about it. By then it's old and cold news. But it seems like you know what you're doing though. Like I've been hearing and seeing a lot about what you're doing at PSU, and that's really, really important. Portland has a special place in my heart, mainly because in the 2010s, y'all used to have Fight Club with fascists every fucking summer. You had riot season, like Patriot Prayer and all those guys, Proud Boys and shit, would show up, and Portland Antifa would just show up and beat the fuck out of them. Y'all also ran the fucking Nazis out of your city in the 80s.
That does remind me that, like, at one point, I think it was in the, 1920s, Oregon was, 30% Klan members.
It was.
Yeah.
Oregon and Indiana were basically ran by the Klan. All the police was in the Klan. Everybody. Like, people talk about the South, but especially in that second generation Klan, it was 3 generations of Klan. The first generation, that was like the Civil War vets. Those were the guys that would like put on fucking flower badge and shit and ride around. Woo! Don't go to the polls tomorrow, boy. Woo! Okay. That was first era Klan. Started by Nathan Bedford Forrest. Second generation Klan was basically a grift, but it was also the largest that the Klan was ever in its history. That was the birth of the nation type shit. You had Supreme Court judges in the Klan. It was basically a violent fraternity. Okay?
Deadly
so they had a big ass march in DC every year. Indiana was basically run by Klan members. Oregon, a lot of states had KKK involvement, like huge membership numbers.
I hope you don't mind if I. Oh.
Third generation Klan, that's basically from the 50s all the way up until today. But the thing is, like, the Klan is like the left. It's split and fractured so many fucking times. It's ridiculous. You hope you don't mind. Hope I don't mind if you what?
If I go on a little tangent about something I've already said this multiple times in the DSA Discord, but I feel like saying it again. There was not too long ago, the Portland DSA was mobilizing people for an ordinance called the right to know who's policing you ordinance, which would have basically banned masks.
Pigs.
Banned masks for the pigs and for ICE, and it was mainly targeted at ICE. However, the cops aren't going to. We know what cops are like. We're not going to allow them to conceal their identity. there was a massive mobilization for that, and the Portland Police Association president spoke against the ordinance.
Of course they did.
Yes, saying that people are only immigrants are only worried about like racism from the federal level and not local law enforcement, and the city councilors should stop fear mongering about local police. And I was just
maybe the police should stop giving people reasons to be afraid.
Yeah, I was when I heard that, my blood was boiling because, like, first of all, I don't know how stupid he thinks immigrants are.
Very.
Like, my experience, at least my personal experience as, like, I'm a first generation American, my parents are immigrants, was my parents knew damn well that the police were racist, that there is systemic racism in the United States.
There was
And,
there was an Honduran brother when I used to work at the homeless shelter. I used to practice my Spanish with them, and he'd be like, Chris, tú hablas como Yankee. Yeah, hablamos en inglés. So we talk in English, and like, yeah, every time he saw the police, he'd spit.
yeah,
Pinches porquerías.
my experience has been that we're wary of police the same way we are wary of ICE. So, like, we're not blind.
Yeah, because even if, like, here's the thing, like, white people believe that, okay, if you got papers, if you're good, they ain't gonna fuck with you. No, they have detained citizens, they have deported citizens, they have, I think, like 66 people have died in custody in the past year. They just write, like, people forget, people have such short memories. Like, were they not just in Minneapolis 5 months ago? Were we not in December, in January, in February, looking at our comrades going toe to toe with these fucking pigs who were driving the wrong way down the street, speeding, getting out of cars, macing people for the hell of it, shooting and killing people, doing horrible, horrible, horrible things, basically put this city under siege. They're still there, by the way. Basically had this fucking city under siege. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, if you have papers, they're not gonna fuck with you. They'll tear the fucking papers up in front of you, beat the shit out of you, and deport you.
Yeah. And I don't know. First of all, we're not stupid. Second of all, you're in Oregon. You're in Oregon.
You sounded so downcast when you said you're in Oregon. Not Washington, not California, but Oregon. you sounded so depressed. I'm in Oregon. I fucking hate it here.
The thing is, like, if you're going to talk about local law enforcement, are you going to talk about the Constitution that was made for Oregon to be a white ethno state? Are you going to talk about the 30% Klan members? Are you going to talk about, like, the...
Oh, that's ancient history. Get over it, buddy. We're not talking about that. We're not like that anymore. Get over it. It's ancient history. Why are you still talking about that? That's what white people tell you. Like, when you bring up shit like instances, like, okay, your state was literally founded to be a white ethno state. Oh, that was 200 years ago. Get over it, buddy. Who cares?
Yeah, there's also, like, I because we're a white state, I naturally went to high school with a lot of white people, and I got to hear, like, white people's opinions, and they're like, I don't know, it was completely hopeless. The attitude among people there is just like, there doesn't exist racism except racism against white people. Like,
oh my god,
oh my goodness, you guys.
That's Nazi shit. They say that, like, oh, well, yeah, you just hate me because I'm no. Like, here's the thing. First of all, like, I do not hate any entire ethnic group. If I hated white people, I would not be in DSA. But like, and like, white people are generally the only people who hate people because of who they are. Black people generally distrust. Latino people generally distrust white people because of the horrible things that they do and have done and will continue to do until we stop them. But like, I do not hate somebody because their ancestors came from fucking Poland or Scotland or Germany. Like, I do not just walk up to somebody and be like, I hate you. I hate your cum-colored skin. I hate your evil blue eyes. I hate your straw-colored hair. No, nobody does that. Nobody does that. That's white people that do that shit. Because, like I said in the beginning, they have an inferiority. They have simultaneously a superiority and an inferiority complex. Like, they're fucked in the head. They're being pulled in two directions. And that's a contradiction that they have. That's an antagonistic contradiction within themselves. That's why they have all these fucking weird ass neuroses and complexes and shit. That's why. Because this settler-colonial country, it's been materially kind to them, but psychologically, it has fucked them up. That's why they are like they are.
Yeah. And, well, they on the one hand, they say the only racism that exists is the racism against white people.
They invented racism against themselves. They invented race. They invented race? How the fuck could they? Oh, my headache's bad. Lovely. Diego. This is what happens when you live on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Should move to more civilized environs, my friend.
Yeah, I've Chicago, like,
yeah, move to Chicago. Chicago is a civilized area.
Yeah, I don't get what white people on social media have against Chicago. I went there for YDSA conference.
It has too many black people.
Yeah, but it's just like, it's so cool to be there. It's just like, I don't know. I went to Chicago. I love Chicago. It's Librarian 17. Do y'all think DSA will split eventually?
Every left org splits eventually. Yes, there's no way that an organization with over 100,000 members is not going to ever split. You know, DSA, though, is actually one of the rare orgs in American left history that was actually formed through a merger, not a split. But yes, it's inevitable. There's too many contradictions. I think that the DSA, I don't think that the left wants to split as much as the right does, because the right sees us as an albatross around their neck. So I definitely think that the right will possibly try to take their electoral clout as it is and pull some fuck shit like that. And I also definitely think that NYC would be involved in that mix some type of way, because it always is whatever fuck shit is in the alfing. But yes, there's no way that an organization is going to have a city's worth of people and never split.
Yeah, I would say like I don't see it necessarily splitting within the next few years. But like, there's 14 political factions. Well, 15.
You have a running count of the fucking caucuses?
I did a presentation on open factionalism for my YDSA chapter, just so they at least knew, like, okay, this is sort of how things work in DSA and YDSA.
What did you say about liberation? What did you say about liberation? What did you say about liberation?
I didn't talk about liberation because y'all are not on the NCC, and I only had a very small amount of time.
Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah.
Totally not reaching for my ice pick.
I counted up all of the caucuses, but I forgot to count the 21st Century Socialism Caucus, and now there's the MLM-PM caucus. So
that's not a real caucus. Yeah, you can count them. Fuck them.
Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know. There's so many, and they like.
It's actually not an MLM-PM caucus. It's an It's an MLM-PM multi-tendency caucus.
Oh yeah. Well,
there is no MLM-PM caucus. There's like I don't know, a fucking blue sky. I don't fucking know, but
yeah, it's like you got anarchists, Maoists, Trotskyists, everyone in the same organization, and like there's some things we can agree on. Like Chris, you're in a different caucus than me. We're not like ideologically the same, but we can agree on like getting cracker control implemented. And
what does cracker control mean to you? Oh, look, an annoying Brazilian for me to ban. Why are Brazilians the meanest people on the internet?
What was it from? Was it someone commenting on the Twitter or something?
It was some, yeah, it's esquerdista vermelho. I don't know. I don't speak Portuguese. Anyways, splits generally are personal in nature, and they come from mishandling of contradictions. So there's a lot of personal drama in DSA, a lot of factional drama in DSA. There's a lot of there's a lot of unprincipled like behavior among certain factions of DSA. So yes, that type of mess does tend to be very conducive to a split or several. We need a hotchist caucus to complete the tendency collection.
We need we need hotchist. We need Pol Potist.
Stop founding stupid ass caucuses around identities and fucking political lines that nobody gives a fuck about, and actually learn how DSA works. You have people that are trying to play around with caucuses and don't even know how to write a resolution. Don't even know what happens at convention. Don't even know what the NPC is. Don't even know how many fucking committees we have. Don't even know how shit works in their local. Don't even do work in their local, but they're trying to form or they're trying to participate in caucuses. One thing I respect about Red Star is that they actually want you to be an organizer. Like, no, later for all this fucking shit postery, oh, I'm going to join my team bullshit. Like that's a toxic dynamic. That will hurt DSA, and yes, it will lead to splits or people leaving DSA because it's not serious politics. Okay, say you want to form a Gonzalowite. Well, what is the basis for a fucking Gonzalowites don't join DSA. These are the same fucking people that left a pig's head outside a DSA meeting space in fucking Austin, and here you are. I'm running Gonzalo caucus, boil babies. Anyways, my headache's gone now. Now I'm ready to act a fool. But anyways, so is there anything that you want to wrap up with, Diego, before I crash out?
Just like, I don't know, you should follow PSUI DSA on Twitter. And
yes, everybody on Twitter.
Like, I don't know. I just felt like
You haven't posted since April, Lane.
wait, is the
No, I see. I see the post you did on May Day. It was an occupation. Ooh, I like those.
oh there was that was there's a whole story behind that. The like there was a the president was planning on cutting $35 million from the planning on cutting $35 million from the budget, and to stop that on May Day, I'm not going to say who, but someone, not from YDSA, said that someone was like, if we do a sit-in and we get a critical mass of people, we can prevent the cuts from happening.
That did not look like a critical mass of people, and that's not how stopping budget
it was
cuts
not. We tried our
that does not look. That is not how budget cuts are stopped. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, it was a bad organizing move. It wasn't
what?
Suggested by YDSA.
Buddy, I wish you the best of luck. I wish you the best of luck, Diego. Do not become entirely cracker control pill, because I would have been done. Let's have a sit-in to stop the budget cuts. Yay!
It did not go well. After
no shit.
After
sit-ins usually do not go well. The police come and drag you all away.
After a few hours, we ended up leaving because what were we going to do? We were 15 people in a room, and the police were just going to if we didn't leave, the police were gonna just arrest us anyways.
Yeah,
we
ain't nobody got time for this shit.
The next time we do something like that, it will not be anywhere near as unplanned and as as horrible.
And it will definitely be announced on BRG's Twitch stream.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. Follow PSUYDSA on Twitter. And if you are in Portland, lock into their work if you are in the area and join Portland DSA. Yeah. But thank you for coming on, Comrade Diego. Now I am going to go I'll probably pass out. Hopefully I don't have an aneurysm in my sleep and die. But anyways, thanks for coming on. It's always good to hear what comrades are up to. And I am Black Red Guard. Bald Red Guard. Black Red Guard. Peaky Red Guard. Anyways, good night.